Okay, so I'm just going to pull up one of my listings over here, all right, and then I'll jump in. If you want to make it a little bit easier, what I've found, I've done it about 5 or 6 times, is if you go into Form Simplicity first, you can create the transaction, and you can go to the Contents tab, and you write all of the buyer and seller's information, or you can do just the buyer's information, because most of the time, Form Simplicity and Ovio, they'll automatically populate it. But for those of you that didn't know, that's what this new little button over here is. That's the Form Simplicity button. So if you haven't done anything yet and you want to just make it super quick and simple, you're going to write an offer on this particular property. You just go in and you click the button and it's going to pull it up. You still have to go in and check all of the information that's on there because it's pulling it from, I think, property appraiser's office or wherever they're getting that information, and it might not all be accurate. Maybe there's a seller that's not included, or it's an et al. Or something like that. So don't trust everything just that it's going to be correct. Just like anything else, you need to kind of follow up and make sure that it is. Okay, so it's opened up Form Simplicity. I didn't have to log into Florida Realtors or anything like that. It's got the MLS number up here. And then you can see it's got the property address, property location. It's got the full address. You probably want to check that because notice this is the property location, but the full address lines, when it says full address, full name, that's where it's going to populate the contract. So you want to make sure these lines are correct. Go in there. Maybe it's got some funky zip code if you don't want those last 4 numbers on there, whatever those mean. Definitely check the county parcel number. That's the alternate key number for those of you that don't know. I've also noticed that if the legal description is really, really long, it won't fit in there. So what I personally do is I just blank that out and I say see addendum or see Schedule A, and then I copy and paste and I add an addendum through Form Simplicity, and I'll copy and paste the full legal description in Form Simplicity. So it's got year bill. A lot of this stuff really doesn't matter. It doesn't have a purchase price, obviously, because it doesn't know. It can't read your mind, right? It would be nice if it could. It should be full price. That's what should go auto-populate in there. So purchase price, you got to add that in there. If you want, for your notes, MLS listing ID, you don't have to go back there over here and look, because guess what? It's right at the top, right there. You can just transfer that number down to the bottom. It's got the names. Okay, so maybe they have middle initials you want to include, or you want to. I personally, I don't put their addresses and I don't put their phone numbers, because just like on the contract, it's going to put their address and phone number on there. And I don't know if you guys have had your buyer call your seller yet without you knowing yet, but I'm not going to make it easier on them. I'm going to let them try and figure that out for themselves. Okay, so if you want to put the seller's address, seller landlord name down here, it's going to fill in your broker information. The rest of the stuff down here, you're going to have to fill in on your own. So buyer tenant name, it's going to say full name right here. That's where you fill this in. If it's John and Mary Smith, John and Mary C. Smith, you know, husband and wife. And I put a comma and put husband and wife right after that. And it will fill in the contract right on there. And then if you're in a hurry, you can just skip over all of this information right here, because this is just going to fill in at the end where the signature fields are. When you might not want that information on there, it's up to you however you want to do that. Or if you use this as your contact management, you know, it's up to you. And it fills in all your broker information and everything. You just hit add to transaction. If you had already gone into Form Simplicity and created a transaction, which is probably a better idea because you can fill in all the content field, you would just go right here and you hit select the transaction. And the most recent transaction that you created is going to be at the very bottom. So you got to scroll all the way down. It probably should be at the top. I don't know why they want you to scroll down like that, but that's Florida Realtors for you. We should probably let them know.
Well, there'll be a class on August
21st.
21st on Form Simplicity.
And MLS Advantage. MLS Advantage is in the afternoon, Form Simplicity is in the morning.
Form
No, they
Simplicity.
make it harder. Just like our single login, right? It's super easy, makes it simple. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. And Melanie just said August 21st, 10 a.m., MLS Advantage, Form Simplicity. If you have any questions, don't see me after. Thanks.